Hello, good evening everyone. So let me add young Daniel in. Let me just accept him. Hopefully he can join. Good evening everyone. So we was going to do a full Wings Monthly tonight, but unfortunately Andy can't make it as ever. Life gets in the way. Children come first. Last time I spoke to him about 5 minutes ago, he's busy knocking up bangers and mash. So hopefully we can get him to join another night. Let me try and see if I can get Dan in. Try again. See if we can get. So we're just going to do sort of a quick chat between me and Dan. Of course, everybody wants to contribute, you're more than welcome to. For some reason, I can't seem to get him to join. Hopefully, he can see me. Apologies, we was going to do a Wings Monthly last week, but as always, I seem to have caught the Black Death. Everyone seems to be getting it around. I don't know about you, how it is around the rest of the world, but everyone in the UK appears to be getting ill at the moment. Including half my team at work. I had a week off last week and I was literally ill for the entire week. Spent a day with my boy on Friday and then he was ill Saturday. So whatever I've got is quite contagious. Thankfully, you can't catch it over Instagram. Well, I bloody hope not, anyhow. So trying to get Dan to join. He's saying it ain't working in typical. I've requested you to join, Dan. I don't know if it's working. Don't know if it's going to come through as an invite to you. But a little bit to talk about on the diecast front. Obviously, not massive amounts of releases at the moment. The Hobby Master just released their last post out, which I shared on the Instagram stories. I mean, not a massive amount on for me. Only really the weathered ME110, which could be quite interesting. But frustratingly, it's the same sort of scheme as the Hobby Master ones and the Corgi one that was done. So here he is.
That took a while.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
That took a while. Quick Instagram reset, and we're in.
Excellent. How you been, mate? You all right?
Ticking over.
You haven't caught this deadly man flu, no?
Not really. A bit croaky and a bit. Don't know. The weather doesn't help, does it? It's just a bit
gloom, isn't it? Just complete gloom. I mean, like this morning, the sun broke through and everyone was excited, and then 5 minutes later, it's gone.
Yeah.
But
so I mean, it's been a bit. Excuse my French, a bit shit. But
the thing is, I don't usually look in the mirror, but actually looking at my eyes are really, really sort of like swollen, and I look awful. But that's the joys of not being well for a week. But yeah, let's talk. Good evening to Zhao, who just said good evening, fellow diecasters.
Evening, Zhao.
Yes, I don't think I've heard this referred to as diecasters, but I'll take it. So, and yeah, just a bit like I said, just a brief catch up. We're not going to go for any sort of set agenda today, but what you've been up to on the diecast front? Anything interesting?
Not really. I managed to bag a cheap set of decals off of eBay for VFA 151 or 51, whichever one is. Vigilantes for an F18E. So I managed to on Richard's on one of his Flying Tiger sales, I picked up a cheap E, and that's just in the stage of mid paint at the minute. So yeah, just quite a nice scheme. It's the Cag Bird. So yeah, doing that. Relaying back to Gary, our local Code 3 whiz, just making sure I'm doing everything right because it's been a while since I've done stuff. Yeah, so doing that. Just kind of patiently waiting at the minute for pre-orders. I've not gone too crazy into the start of this year.
Are you getting Moggy and Blackjack?
Yeah, they're on pre-order. Yeah, I had the price through today from Rich, which I think is quite. I mean, it's not bad to be fair for a really.
He said that there's been a message on there from obviously his wholesaler. Flying Tigers get it from Tiger Hobbies, don't they? And they said, I think the max you will pay is 85 quid. But of course, if it's sensible,
he's listed at 74.99. He's listed at, so
good. Yeah.
For a really limited run Typhoon, it's
400, I think, of each, isn't it? It's not a massive amount.
really, really limited. So, and it's only going to be a UK exclusive, I
Yeah.
believe, blackjack. So, yeah, yeah, just keeping an eye on little bits and pieces, really. Not gone to, like I said, not gone too crazy. I want to try and do a few more code threes this year. What they will be, I don't know. I'm kind of venturing. I know we're a diecast page, but obviously we're having just a. I think our watchers will watch this and go, "This is just like them on FaceTime." To be honest with you, but
Yeah.
kind of venturing into. Like I said, I know we're diecast, but different collecting sprees, still to do with aviation, but going mad for the Squadron Prince at the minute. I don't know if anybody else. Obviously, we are diecast, but if anybody collects anything else to do with the aviation, I know Michael collects. He's a big World War One book collector.
Just a bit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
He is
yeah.
the book collector, I think, isn't he?
So I mean, we're interested in all things aviation collection. So yeah, I'm mad for Squadron prints at the minute. I don't know why. I'm loving the patches. I'm loving the prints themselves. Come across a few different rarities. I love the signed ones. I don't know why. I just so yeah. Nah, just chilling really. Not going too balls deep into it, so to speak. What about you?
Yeah, well, we'd love to say I wasn't going balls deep into it, but I pretty much am. But
Yeah, of course you are.
I mean, like this week, I don't know if you can see behind me. I've got it's a bit blurry, obviously, because it's out of focus.
Sterling
I've got
and
oh, look, it actually went into focus then. So that's McRoberts reply, Sterling. I picked up a spare Detroit miss.
yeah.
I've got a Tempest there, but I've paid like silly money for them.
No.
I've got a Sky Guardians P38 Hills Angels, which is sensational. So I've sort of shied away from the Sky Guardians one. Even though it's a really lovely mould, it's an absolute arsehole to put together.
Yeah.
It's the same one that Herpa now use. So I didn't realise that when Sky Guardians first released them, like they did with the Mustangs and all the other bits and pieces, they were fixed gear down only.
Right.
So I've got a P38 Hills Angels. I bought two of them in the space of 3 weeks because I didn't realise I'd bid on two at the same time. So I've got a code 3, the other one, as you do. But it's really good.
I didn't realise.
Yeah, but it's all. No, but I paid like 12 quid, 12 quid
Yeah,
and 10
nothing, is
quid
it?
for a Sky Guardians P38. But it's brilliant. I take the pictures. Obviously, I share them on the page and whatnot. But obviously, my main thing's been going for a few code threes. You know, buying cheap things. And
Yeah, you look like you do really well.
No, I'm getting there. You know, it's I mean, my next one, my P40, is really, really good.
Yeah,
really good.
I saw your video of it. Looks really good.
I've sort of under-weathered it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I did all the pure black, and then I pre-shaded the panels white, and then I used a brown in some of them to add a bit of shade, and it's come up really good. The only issue was that Gary really nicely lent me some P40 decals when he did the Silver Fighter Collection one.
Yeah.
He had a whole pack he wasn't going to use. He lent me them, and the first two sets I tried using, I did one, and all the bloody things felt better. Now I did the second one, it felt bits, and I just had to do sort of a plain schemed one with a duck egg and black underneath, and it's come up lovely. It's come up really good. I've just got to matte it now, and then obviously take off all the what do you call it? My brain's gone. Masking, that's the one. Sorry, So also I've got brain fog. This has killed me. This flu thing, whatever it is.
Yeah,
but now I've really enjoyed it. I've been doing quite a bit of Bunker Hill stuff, so I need to get an Avenger to do a USS Bunker Hill Avenger. But I bought a new Matchbox one today as well. Really rare Matchbox Corsair diecast one. It's a Bunker Hill scheme, and I think it was a US only release, and you very seldom see them in this country. In fact, I've only seen.
I may have an Avenger.
If you've got an Avenger, give me a shout. I'll probably have it off you, mate, to be honest with you. So I'm going to do it sort of the deep, the dark sea blue with the yellow and whatnot. I'm going to have a go at masking the actual arrow this time. So I'm doing like little things like that. I've masked the walkways on the BBMF 19 as well. And I've done quite a few. And they're
you enjoying it?
Yes, I'm loving it. Look, I'm never going to be the best. I don't set out to be the best, but my standards.
I don't either.
Yeah, it's got a lot better. I'm doing different things. I think I prefer a plain factory fresh scheme, and like all the pre-shading stuff's really good. And it's great practice to getting used to using the airbrush. And I'm finding like Tamiya, for example, paints brilliant for doing a basic coat. But if you're trying to do detail work with them, it's really hard. To get them thin to the right consistency, and they become quite spluttery. Yeah, where something like ammo paints are brilliant at doing the detail work. Vallejo, whatever you want
Yeah.
to call it. They're really, really good as well for that. So I find that Tamiya is better for a base coat, and I find that AK and
That's what it is.
Vallejo.
It's just practice. It's just practice. I know on that F18 I'm doing at the minute, I spoke to Gary, and he said, "Look, these are the ones you want for this type of Hornet." And I was like, "Yeah, it sound no pop." So they're the fuck Aqueous Hobby. I don't know what bloody brand they are, but they weren't. The thing with these paints is they're not expensive at all, but they go for
Yeah.
ages. You can just water them down, and they just thin them down, and they
But,
go forever.
and I mean, a great advice. I mean, like, I think we need to do a code free special where, I mean, that's why I sort of wanted Andy on today. It's a bit of a marriage between sort of the kit building and die cast. He's done code free as well. And it's a great way of sort of feeding into it. I'd love to have a few code freeers on, you know, like Dave Hunt. I know Gary Jukes is code free yourself. Try and even get Gary on, but I know he's camera shy, bless him. But I tell you something, though, Hobbycraft is a great place to go, especially if you get the card, because you end up getting like £5 vouchers.
Yeah.
Here, there, and ever. And I picked up. I've been using a lot of Humbro ones lately, and you can't squeeze them straight in. You've got to thin them first. You've got to give them a good mix and thin, and they do go more on the watery side, but they go on lovely, like really, really good.
They're doing all right. Good.
So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I'm trying to think what else I'm bidding on. I've got some Tuskegee decals coming all the way from the USA. So I'm frustrated. So I really wanted a Gemini Tuskegee and the Inner Mason belt, and you can't find it for love nor money. I think it was like 600 ever made. So I'm going to make my own. I've got
Why not? That's the trick. And I know, obviously, I was talking to Gary today, and he might be watching this. He might watch it later on. He was obviously going back to that Blackjack from Hobbymaster. He and Moggy, to be fair, he turned around. He's already made his, so he said, "I don't need to pre-order them."
No,
he said, and that's the beauty, because there is so many schemes out there that the manufacturers, not their fault, but they're just not going to get around to making them. You can make your own. If you find the correct model, you can just make your own. And the trick is, it's not, if you do it right, so you shop around and you get the right model, you can, for for example, you're finding these ones cheap on eBay, 12 quid. It's peanuts, isn't it, for a model? But you can make it look very, very good and have fun doing it, and it's not going to cost a lot. I mean, you got a model for 12 quid, you got the paints for maybe, just a little thumbs up there. Where did that come from?
I don't know. Don't know if you did the thumbs up and it come up on the thing.
You got the model for 12 quid, paints for maybe 7 or 8 quid, sort of like for all of them, and then that's going to last for however long, a few models. Obviously, Gary's been really generous with them P40 decals, but decals are 5 or 6 quid if you're looking for a certain one. For 25, maybe 30 quid, you've made yourself a model, and you've had fun in the process. Do you know what I mean? And you're only going to get better doing it. So no, I think it's a good cheap way of getting into modelling and die-cast collecting and
Great
filling
marriage.
gaps.
It's an in between, and you know, I think eventually I probably will make a kit, and that's dangerous, because if I make a kit, then I might end up making more and more. But I think the one thing I could do as a kid, I could make the kit, and I could make it relatively well.
Yeah.
Could I paint it? No, but then I used to use the old enamel paints, which are thick, slurpy.
Yeah, I never use enamel. I know a lot of modelers still use enamel paints. I'm acrylic all the way.
Yeah.
I struggle. Enamel, I'm like, no.
Yeah, I find it easier to clean up as well, acrylic, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
For you
yeah,
as well,
just
to get
water
away
it
with yourself.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I mean, it's a great way. Like I said, I've used it for keeping this busy, and it's really, really, really helped. And I find I set up at 6 o'clock in the evening, and then suddenly it's 11 o'clock at night, and you're like, what? And then suddenly I've got 3 different things on the go, and my box is full, and it's great. It's great to do. Like I said, it's a shame I can't really display them here. I've managed to sneak a few into my mum's cabinet, and she picked up on the other day, and had to write up about it. No, I've really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoy it. And like I said, it adds something very, very different to collection. And I know Andy, who was going to come on tonight, he's literally started using an airbrush at work. So he's got one set up in his workshop at work.
Fair play.
The school he works at. He hasn't told me how he's got on with it yet, but I guess like us, if I was to be a betting man, I bet the first few attempts of it, he was like, oh, I don't want to do this, because it's so frustrating when you get the blockages and then you get the spluttery finishing, and then you find your way around it. I mean, like I said, I think we started with defective airbrushes. I mean, that's the excuse I'm sticking to. Because the
to
one...
be fair, I mean, sorry, I'll put it in then. I mean, my dad bless him, he bought me my first airbrush. It's done it again. I've got another thumbs up then. He got me the first Spar Max one, and it broke.
Yeah.
It was whether that was partly my fault, I'm not sure, but the not the needle, the bit on the end, the nozzle, it just sheared off inside the thing. So I was like, and the spare part was the cost of another airbrush. I was like, well, that's dead. So I mean, I don't normally like giving out advice to watchers, and because I'm not perfect, and no, I don't think anybody's perfect, but it wasn't a cheap one. It wasn't a massively expensive one. I then got another one that was about 40 quid. That broke. And for a start, and that again, it goes down that frustrating route of, is it me? Am I doing something wrong here? Oh, sod this. I can just go back to not go back. There's nothing wrong with using a paintbrush and doing it that way. Some of the models I've seen, the way they say they're brush painted, I'm like, Jesus, that is unbelievable. But think I'm the same as you now. I went on Temu or AliExpress and got an airbrush on there for 7 or 8 quid, and it sprays absolutely lovely.
Yeah, and that's what I've got 3 now. So I've got the hardware steam back set up for 0.45.
Yeah.
I've got one from Temu set up at 0.3, and another one which I use for detail work from Temu set up at 0.2. Plus I've got a spare load of needles and internal nozzles. So if things go wrong, I can chop and change them, because what I found with the hardware and steam back one, and it's really nice, it's really well made, it's really well manufactured, it's all very good in that, but it kept spluttering. And the reason it kept spluttering is that the needle wasn't straight. And I think that's because I was heavy-handed, clean. Because every time I used it when I first got it, the temptation is take it all to bits, clean it all down. You want it absolutely immaculate, put it back. But actually, the more you clean it, the more you get into damaging the nozzle and the needle and stuff like that. And I'm sure I must have slightly bent it.
Yeah.
And that's what then damaged the nozzle. And then I had to replace the knot. And now it's fine.
Yeah.
And I've learned that actually by cleaning it just with a little bit of water or a little bit of airbrush cleaner and spraying it through, and then I use a little bit of thinner at the end just to go through, just to clean out if there's any other little bits in there. Don't like soak it, just tiny few drips just to on and off to clean it out, and that works fine for me. Now I'll probably take it apart once a month just to give it a good detailed clean. And I think it's you play around with different PSI settings, and I was spraying way too high. I was probably not doing, there's a technique to it. So I would say to anybody who's going to start, just watch a few videos. Just sit in bed at night, stick your earphones in while the missus is reading a book, and just watch a few videos, not on the naughty sites, I'm talking YouTube. But it's really good. And then you can almost, then on the flip side, you can almost learn too much, and then you end up over processing everything. It is very much get a crappy model
and just have a go.
Just practice on it. Then put a tiny bit of paint in, so you do one wing, then you clean it, get in the habit of cleaning it, spray it all out, make sure it's completely dry, then do another side, and maybe change the pressure and see what it does to it, and then bring it down to the pressure that sprays nicely for you. So I'm run now probably between 12 and 14, more towards 12. Yeah, because I find that you get a better, but then different paints have different PSI settings to give you a difference. So there's so much you can learn, thinning it slightly, and most of them, in all fairness, spray straight out the bottle now, including Tamiya. So it's probably Humbrol that are the real sort of exception to the rule, because even as much as you shake the shit out of them, you still can't get them to thin. Yeah, you still need to thin them down. But and then there's different thinners, and there's so much you can do. And I'm looking at my my stock of stuff the other day, and I'm like, Jesus, where did all this come from? Like I started with a compressor and a couple of paintbrushes, and now I've got like 6 trays worth of stuff.
So have you got compressor and tank, or just compressor?
Just compressor.
Yeah. So I've got just compressor, and it's when I'm airbrushing it, it's constantly purging. So I think I'm going to possibly invest. I'm going to keep an eye out for a compressor with tank. God's truth, just so it fills the tank up and it's not constantly running, dying. But no, enjoying
No,
it.
it's good. It's just great fun, isn't it? It's great fun. But and yeah, look, what do you think's coming in this Corgi special announcement? You've got any inklings?
No,
I'm thinking
we go on. You thinking
BBMF.
BBMF?
I wonder if it's going to be a triple set, because if they're going to maximise profit, you think what you could probably sell a DAC, a Spit, and a Hurricane for £200, maybe, with a donation to the Mark Long Fund. I don't. It's just an idea. I mean, look, there's 3 new schemes sitting there: the Black Hurricane, which haven't used the Mark II for a while, Spitfire 19 with the yellow nose, which I've just done, and the Southeast Asian Command Dakota. You could do all 3 of them for under £200 or just 3 separate releases with £5 each going to the Mark Long Fund. I think that would be really good. Maybe I'm
What's
just
the
logically.
It's the Mark 9, isn't it? They're relatively new mold.
Yeah, they could obviously do
The desert.
3.5. I don't know if 3.56 is 3.56 a pointy rudder though, or a rounded rudder. I have a feeling it's a pointy rudder.
Is it too? Is it? See, yes, I think it would. If they were going to choose, to me, in my opinion, I think if they were going to choose to do MK356 in the desert scheme, they would have to do it with a portion of the money raised going to Mark Long. If they didn't, I think it would be bad taste at the moment.
Completely.
I think it's it's almost like, let's jump on that bandwagon to get some funds in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, everything that's been done for Mark and the fundraising for him, bless him, so far, the patches that have been made, all the profits have gone to charity. So
unless unless they've done it through the BBMF to commission
possibly.
it through the BBMF. And so, I mean, it's a shame they can't mould a 16 fuselage to put on the 9 wings. I'm sure that's feasible. To have a separate one to make a 16, a low back 16. Because they're fundamentally the same thing. 16 and 9 is fundamentally the same thing, except for a Packard Merlin and the Rolls Royce one.
Yeah.
And that would open up so many options, but they need to do the pointed rudder on that fuselage as well. That opens up loads of options.
But I mean, realistically, you go back to the old days, the conversations that we have for all of the sort of like catalogue releases. What are they going to do that's new? What could possibly be the surprise? What could it be? They've got so many options and they've had so many ideas chucked at them. Then it could be anything. It could be a new Lancaster mould. It could be a new B-17 mould. That's getting old, like a bit tired now. It could be a completely new model, a Victor. It could be a 148th. It might not even be 172. So it could be anything. You could sit there all night and reel off so many different ideas of what it could be.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see. I must admit. I don't know. I've got nothing against Corgi at all. Obviously, I've still got numerous Corgi models, not as many as I used to have. It just doesn't pop to me like it used to.
And I think that's because they've had a lot of the directions been taken to Hornby and Airfix.
Massively. I think they are. They're massively.
It's almost like Corgi needs to be bought by somebody who wants to focus on Corgi. I'm not, unfortunately, that man. But if anyone wants to throw a few £1,000,000 at me, please do, and I'll happily head it up. But no, you're right. And I guess, when Hobby Master are knocking out 12 models a month and they're doing 400 runs, it's interesting to see whether that business model is clearly sustainable, because I've done that for a number of years. So is the future in more models, less runs, or is it in less models, more runs. I don't know, but
No, me neither.
I mean, look, Colgate are doing successfully. Whatever they're
Yeah,
selling in the aviation archive is profitable.
yeah,
And that's the frustration for me. I just wish there was more love for it. But obviously, I've just been taken over by Fraser Group. So whether there's a different, what you call it, different plan to come, we'll find that out soon. So hopefully,
possibly.
Michael
Yeah,
and David will get back to me relatively soon about catching up for this interview because I wanted to do it sort of fresh on the back of the
release.
Release, but as love would have it, luck would have it. Sorry, they've not managed to get around to it yet. So I'm going to have to keep badgering them both. I'll drop David another message tonight, I think.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, do it. I mean, some of them I've gone off the top of my head. I know we said we weren't going to really go in depth or anything, but the latest Hobby Master releases, every catalogue, to be honest with you, it probably got something in there that I would have, and I'm hearing that from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Even they delving into the quirky stuff. The bicentennial Tomcat F14, that'll be stunning.
Scooby Doo Mig.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting. I mean, look, I'm interested in the ME110. Whether the ME110, I think, would look really good. My frustration again would be a bit more creative on that scheme. You know, I think they sometimes play way too safe and go, you know, I'm going to do a scheme that's been done 100 times, and we're going to do it again. I wish they'd do something a bit more creative, especially in the. I mean, like an ME1010 with the green sort of patches on the desert. Bit like, you know, the Rogue Hero season 1 where they did with the boost when you were working on it. That style finish on an ME110 110 would be absolutely sensational. But they haven't done it, and that's my frustration. I guess with Colgate now, at least I can say the schemes they're going for are pretty
out there.
Good. Yeah, really good. I mean, that Corsair they're doing next time. I mean, that's one of my next targets is a Corsair in dark slate sea green, dark slate green and dark sea green, which is a real mishmash colour scheme. It looks mental, but I can't wait to do it. I mean, like the Royal New Zealand one's going to be a nice compliment to the new one that's coming out now. But what's also good about Corgi is that they're fully utilising that tool bank again. So stuff like the Corsair's coming back, Sea King's come back, which has had a bit of a hiatus. So at least they're opening that tool bank again. So they've got a bigger range, similar to what Hobby Master are doing. So
are we going?
I mean, fair play to them.
Are we going to quickly discuss the B58 from Caliber? Or
we can talk about it. I mean, I think it.
Admittedly, I don't know a lot about it.
Again, same with me. And Christian would be coming for me if I said the engine nacelles were right, which they aren't. Clearly,
they're not.
But
and I don't want Noel coming after me again and threatening to get a flight over here and stab me in the face. But they're not right.
Yeah.
And I know nothing about B58s, and I can see from the side profile, every profile, they're not right. And for I think the price, did I read correctly? It's going to be about 300 quid.
$300, I think was the. So what's that? 250, 260 UK sterling.
For that amount of money, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of metal in it. It's going to be a heavy model.
I also think the finish on it, if he can replicate the finish he's done on it, I think it'd be sensational. Look, I can overlook it. Am I bothered about having a B58 in my collection? Not really. Would I buy it because it looks so good? Probably.
Would
that's I mean, it does look brilliant. I don't think I'll ever get my hands on it. In all honesty, I think it would just be, for 260 quid, I could get, 2 or 3 other things. And that, I mean, and that's no disrespect to Noel. I think it's incredible. I hope he then gets another one out of that mould because otherwise it will be a massive waste. But he's put all his eggs in one basket with it, and he'll do a great job of it. I have no doubt about it. And there'll be naysayers out there who will say it isn't right, isn't this, isn't that. But I know he'll give his absolute all to make it as good as he can possibly can. Will that be enough to please everyone? You can't please everyone. So,
and
look,
and it's not this. You could say that about every, and I know that sounds like a dig. Just had a bit of a dig at Caliber. You could say that about every diecast brand.
Of course, yeah.
They can never do enough to please everybody.
Yeah, it's the danger. Once the price goes up and inflation's up here, your expectation comes up with it. And I guess that's
there will always.
You think how basic the first.
There will always be somebody out there asking for a sodding FW200 Condor, and it's a diecast. It's alive. It has to be brought up at least once.
Fucking condom. Sorry, I'm going to put this on YouTube as well, and that is, and there's going to be the bit. No, they can actually caption it. There'll be a bit of me just shaking my head going, "That fucking condor." No, again, would it look brilliant? Of course it would. Do I want 3 of them? No. Did I want? But then, did I want 3 sterlings? So actually, great story about this. So, as you know, my dad can't really talk. He can only say a few words. You know, you can call my say my name. You can say T. That bloke is one of his often phrases, and terrible, he often says. But this here is from RF Witten. So my dad, I'm trying to get back in focus, but it won't do it. My dad was based at Witten, at 39 Squadron. And so I'm sitting down with dinner with him today, and he points at it and goes, good. I'm like, yeah, it's really nice, Dad, like really nice. He goes, he points out to do it's at RF Witten, wouldn't you? He goes, can't you? I said, you want me to send it to him? Like, just guessing. He was like, yeah. I said, I'm not sending my sterling to RF Witten because you want me to send the sterling that I've just bought to RF Witten. It's not happening, Dad.
Love it.
You know what I mean? But,
my brother-in-law's still there. Listen, if he ever wanted a trip out to Witten to for some memories, I can get him on.
Oh, really?
My brother-in-law's still there.
Oh, really? What is it now? It's
Army.
Just like a maintenance.
No,
is it?
It's I'll message you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I did say to Gary, did Gary speak to you about Biggin Hill? Yeah. So planning a boys' day out at Biggin Hill.
We did. So yeah, obviously I've not put a great deal on social media about my last. I don't think I've really spoken to you a great deal about the last few weeks.
Yeah, you said a few things. Hence the reason you've not been on yet.
It's been a bit of a rough one. All of a sudden, I've gone from a 4-legged cat to a 3-legged cat, and it's been pretty abysmal. So yeah, it's not been great. But yeah, we've been talking, and I think it's the time of year. We've all been a bit down. We've all been a bit low. Yeah. Diecast has been a bit slow, and he said, I think we should just have a bit of a lads' day out, Biggin Hill.
And I think we should do a Lake and Heath day as well.
I'm up for Heath. Yeah. I'm always
It's not a million miles from you either, and it's not a million miles for all 3 of us, is it? It's about the same length, I think, probably for all 3 of us to meet there. So
about hour and a half.
We should definitely do a DWC at Lake and Heath day.
We'll do a live. We'll do a live from there.
Just imagine that'd be good. I don't know how I'm coming across, but I've got a new microphone.
Awful.
Tonight, so hopefully it's a little bit clearer. Thanks. That's better. But no, look, I think it's only just a quick. I know you need to get away about 8:30 anyhow, but I thought it's just a good chance to catch up and talk a little bit. Diecast. I think the plan is to try and get a Wings Monthly in at some point with Andy. So I'm sure you can jump on there at one point.
Of course,
it'd be a great way. Just sort of, it's a great, like I said, it's a great bridge from what we're talking about, Coach 3, Diecast, and sort of building models all together. And he does a really good job. And he's a hairy stick man as well. Obviously, when I say
I am gonna. I tell you what, this will be a test to see if anybody's actually watching. Can you see who's watching? I can't. I don't know who's watching on this one.
Well,
you putting this on YouTube?
Yeah, it will be on YouTube. Yeah.
So our next interview is lined up.
Oh, cool.
So we've had obviously Alex Monk. Have I already said this on a live?
No, you haven't. No.
Have I not? I'm going batshit crazy. We've had Alex Monk from Biggin Hill. Oh yeah, Jack Vincent, you're always here, you pleb.
That's not very nice. He's having a tough season with Ipswich down at the bottom of the league. Poor sod.
How are you getting on with Phillips? Great player, isn't
he? You talked to honestly. To be fair,
he failed for you as well, didn't he?
Right, we were in 9th. We were pushing for Europe when Phillips joined. And all he did was give away a penalty at Newcastle when we were 3-1 up, which then led us to lose 4-3, and then got sent off because he's absolutely awful. Oh, he's had a pop. Look, Leeds losing. He's fired in now. He's back.
He's back. Anyway, going back to interviews, so we've had Alex Monk from Biggin Hill, which was fantastic. We've had, remind me of his name, Matt, F22.
Cabo Gunderson.
Yep. Fantastic. We've got lined up probably the most distinguished Rio of F14 Tomcat ever, I'd like to say. He was in Top Gun film. He played a part, well, he was in the back seat of, I believe, Iceman's Tomcat. He was in the MiG-28 F5F. Dave Bio-Branick. So yeah, we've got him lined up to talk all things Top Gun, Tomcats, and models, because he is interested in models as well.
What's he got?
He's got a few of his airframes that he's flown in and bits and pieces. So yeah, we've got that lined up over the next month or so.
Fantastic. And, you know, embarrassingly, and it shows you, because obviously I'm very into warbirds and that. I was like, who's that? And then when I looked into it, I was like, again, how did I not know this? You know, and I'm obviously you'll be leading that. I'll be asking loads of stupid questions, so you're gonna have to stop me at some point.
Full
fangirl.
But
that's brilliant. No, it's absolutely fantastic. I know Dwayne was telling me about, he's got potentially somebody who flew in Operation Granbury on Tonkas as well at some point, which I think would be a great RAF side of things as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But look, it'd be great. It'd be great to have him. You know, I'm going to try and use Elliot. Obviously, we've got Elliot potentially coming back on, and some of the other lads from the Echo as well at some point, with number 2 due out in the next couple of months. So we've got lots of exciting stuff lined up. Just got to find the bloody time to do it. Yeah. So, you know, like this week, I would love to do one Thursday, but I'm at West Ham Thursday. Hopefully see us win, which will be nice after the weekend. A really good result of the weekend. I don't know how we pulled it off.
I could do a Leeds winning tonight, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
just to settle my nerves for the rest of the season. But
yeah, absolutely.
Right, big man. I'm going to love you and leave you.
Yeah, same here. Look, thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in, folks. And like I said, as soon as we can get a chance to do it, we'll put it all together and get a proper Wings Monthly on. But look, lovely catching up with everybody. Cheers, big man. And I hope things get a little bit better. Yeah, catch you later, mate. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.